Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, it's Cynicalex, and this is the third sneak peek, sort of, for the upcoming Inhumans update. Let's take a look.
Greetings, agents. Classy Cage here to bring you the latest on the V630 stream. So if you take a look behind me, you'll notice there's a cloud forming up, and, sorry. Apparently, sources refer to me calling it a terrigen.
Yeah.
Not sure what that is, but we'll definitely have more for you on the latest V630 stream. So be sure to stay tuned. What is this?
What is this? So this is really funny. I really like this. This is Classy Cage, not Cosmic Cage, not, I can't remember the cages, not Cringy Cage. This is Classy Cage with an amazing green screen, by the way, doing a sort of newscaster, on the scene reporter type acting thing, where he's reporting on the heavy mists descending on the city, and these mists are of course the terrigen mist, and the terrigen mist ties in very deeply to the core mythos of the Inhumans. So it's very, very important to the Inhumans. It is I don't know, it's like it's just really important. You can't have Inhumans without terrigen mist, so it's sort of, they go hand in hand. Now the one disappointing thing I will say, I don't mean to complain too much, but I think over the past few months we've been spoiled by the sneak peek team. There's no other clue in this video. I've gone frame by frame, and other people that I trust have gone frame by frame, and we can't find anything. There are no characters, there's no clues. See, even if you freeze this stuff, there's nothing hidden, written, there's not a name, there's nothing at all. There's no clues whatsoever, except there could be some comic reference clues. I say could be because it's not a guarantee. Now, here's the thing. There is, of course, the general note of what the sneak peek is, which is telling us when the live stream, the Facebook live stream, is going to be, which indirectly tells us when the APK is going out. So a mysterious cloud is looming towards Marvel Future Fight. Stay tuned to the V6.3 stream on August 7th, which is this Friday at 5 p.m. PDT. Nice that they're doing it a little bit earlier, so that's 8 p.m. for me over on Twitch, where I will be, and we will watch it together for the latest. So that means I should expect the APK, and you should expect the APK for whoever you follow on top of me, or presumably, since you're here. We should be getting the APK on the 7th, or the 7th at night, or the 8th very, very early in the morning. So yeah, just a few days now, which means you should wait to make any large roster investments or changes before you equip CTPs or whatever. Just wait and see what the APK has to hold. We still have some sneak peeks to go, presumably. But yeah, the terrigen mist. So there isn't really much else to gain from this sneak peek other than knowing when the live stream is going to be. I personally really like this way of promoting the live stream because it does promote it in a way that's more fun for social media, and it's more fun for casual players or people who don't know this game and maybe want to check it out. Because normally the sneak peek for the live stream is just a picture. It's a static image with two of the characters, and we've been using that static image to tell which one of the characters is going to be awakened. It doesn't always work, but most of the time. I actually really prefer this method. It really helps push the game to a wider audience, especially for people who don't play this game. So like, oh, what's going on here? They're putting so much production value into just a live stream for an update, right? So that means a lot. That definitely means a lot. So big shout out to Cage. Big shout out to the sneak peek team, whoever thought this up. You know, you definitely deserves a lot of kudos. However, there are a couple of things that we can we can try to infer from the comics based on this. So the heavy mist, the terrigen mist descending on the city, is actually the plot line of a comic run. So this is where sort of comic knowledge does come into play, and perhaps it's just a nod to the comics, but not necessarily going to be a clue for the update. I don't want to state that what I'm about to say is definitely going to be in the update in any way, but I just think it's interesting, and it does definitely take knowledge and information and storylines directly from the comics. Now keep in mind, in the game we do already have, and we've seen it several times, the Inhumans versus XMen faction battle. But the faction battle is very, very boring. It's very basic. It's never been updated. So we may just see that come back as is. They might just copy and paste that game, it's not a game mode. They might just copy and paste that event. Hopefully, I'm praying that they do something more robust and larger and a more grand scheme type thing. But there is a very real possibility that they could be drawing a lot of inspiration from the Inhumans versus X-Men storyline. Now, the storyline itself is okay. It's got some cool moments. It's got some confusing moments with, you know, people being real versus being fake, and things happening versus real things happening versus things that were just imagined and projected into people's minds. So there is a little bit of that going on, which I think is a kind of a cheap way of doing storytelling, but I think it's still an interesting story. You get to see some pretty cool, iconic battles between your favorite X-Men and maybe Inhumans that you've never even heard of, because there's quite a lot of Inhumans besides just the royal family. You see Moon Girl, you see a lot of second tier Inhumans get their sort of shot to make something out of themselves in a fight, and sort of get your attention there. So that's cool. The Inhumans versus X-Men storyline is already in the game in some form with the faction battle, and it can definitely be drawn on, because essentially what the Terrigen Mist has to do with all of this is that the Terrigen Mist comes from the Terrigen crystals, and we've seen the Terrigen crystals already in the cave that Black Bolt flies out of, and in the cave where Medusa is sitting on the throne. And then there's a red crystal, which is the Awakening crystals, but the other crystals are just regular Terrigen crystals. It's not CCF, it's not Cosmic Cube fragments. And so the Terrigen crystals make the Terrigen Mist, and the Terrigen Mist is essentially what makes Inhumans. It's what gives descendants of Inhumans, it morphs them and it transforms them and gives them powers, and then that's how they become Inhumans. That's basically how it works. And so Kamala Khan was just a regular human. I'm not actually sure if she's a descendant of an Inhuman or like half Inhuman or whatever, but she's just a regular girl, and then she gets exposed to the Terrigen Mist on Earth, even though the Inhumans live on the moon, on the dark side of the moon. She gets exposed to the mist, and then she becomes Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and she gets the stretchy powers of sort of like the stretchy powers of Mr. Fantastic. So that's how that goes. So for regular humans and descendants of Inhumans, the Terrigen Mist can be really cool, and it can give you some really amazing, mind-bending powers. For mutants, the Terrigen Mist is pretty shitty. For mutants, the Terrigen Mist can give them Mpox, which can kill them. It can disable the X gene, which basically doesn't allow them to use their powers. It can give them a short burst of power larger than what they had. So for example, in one of the storylines, Quicksilver loses his ability to run fast. He basically loses his X-Men power, his mutant power, and then he gets exposed. He actually exposes himself to the Terrigen Mist, and then he becomes able to travel through time, I believe, which is sort of like an enhanced version. If you could run so fast, a la Barry Allen, Wally West, etc., you can travel through time, right? Just goes, Superman flies so fast he turns back time or whatever. So he gets the ability to travel through time temporarily. But it's those first things that I said. The Terrigen Mist is essentially toxic to mutants. So that's why they fight, because the Inhumans want to use the Terrigen Mist to make more Inhumans, to continue their sort of their race or their sub-race or whatever. And the X-Men are like, you know what? We don't really want to die, and we also don't want to leave Earth, because you guys aren't going to go spraying your Terrigen Mist somewhere else. You want to spray it on Earth. So screw that. Let's destroy your Terrigen Mist. And they're like, do you want to destroy the Terrigen Mist? You're going to have to fight us, and you're going to have to destroy us first. So that's basically what it boils down to. By the way, just want to say this as a quick sidebar. The more I read about the Inhumans, the worse they are. I had no idea about the Alpha Primitives. And if you don't know what that is, go and read up about it. The Inhumans are kind of a bunch of dickheads. Sorry to use that language on YouTube, but they're not nice, man. They're not nice. I don't know. I think I gotta go with the X-Men on this one. I hate Emma Frost, but I think I gotta go with the X-Men on this one. So anyways, that's how the Terrigen Mist ties in. But the Terrigen Mist being on Earth, right, and the whole Earth thing actually has a little bit closer connection to another storyline, not X-Men versus Inhumans, although that does have the faction battle. This one has a different reference in the game, the Infinity Saga. Now, the Infinity Saga is really cool. It's, of course, another plot by Thanos and the Black Order to sort of, gain power and do some things. And we have a reference to it in the game. We'll go back to that, Supergiant. We have a reference to it in the game here with this comic card, bada bing, bada boom. So this is part 1. Is this part 1? This is also Hickman, by the way. No, this is issue 9. So anyways, I've read the Infinity storyline. It's very, very interesting. There's a lot of branching paths to it. There's the Builders, there's the Avengers, there's all these sorts of things going on. But essentially, I want to break it down for you quickly. Thanos is trying to amass power, and one of the ways in which he wants to amass power is to eliminate his son, Thane. That's right. Thanos has a son named Thane. Extremely clever wording there with the name for Thanos and Thane. Just take out the OS and add an E. Why not? So anyways, he wants to kill his son Thane. Well, it's not 100% clear. I'm not sure if maybe he does say he wants to kill his son Thane. Anyways, he wants to get him, capture him in some way. And Thane's super powerful. Thane also happens to be part Inhuman. So you can see where this starts to involve the Inhumans. So Thanos and the Black Order arrive on Earth because they've gotten word from Outriders that the Avengers are not on Earth. The Avengers are busy in space helping the Kree and helping other planets and universes against the Builders, who are... They sound like Bob the Builder, but they're way creepier and way more threatening. Anyways, so Thanos pulls up on Earth, and in one of the zones, so he sends all the Black Order out to different places. That's the infamous scene where Black Dwarf goes to, now Cull Obsidian, but Cull Obsidian goes to Wakanda and gets his face smashed in by Black Panther. He gets walloped by Black Panther. He gets completely dunked. And so anyways, he sends the Black Order all to different places. Supergiant and Ebony, I think, go to the X-Men school for mutants, and they defeat the X-Men pretty easily. And then they go and they come into contact with Black Bolt. And this is where Supergiant mind controls Black Bolt. And this is where in Marvel Future Fight, they've illustrated that by giving Supergiant not only the passive, sorry, not the passive. Yeah, it's an active skill. But anyways, she summons Black Bolt. It's called Puppeteer. She summons Black Bolt. Not only does she have that as an ability, but also you can see that when you fight her in the World Boss stage, if you look at where she is, she's in Atalan, right? She's in the Inhuman Palace. She's not on. I think she's in part of the Inhuman Palace, not necessarily the main palace, but she's in the Inhuman zone. So this is where it comes from, and essentially, there's going to be a terrigen bomb that gets strapped, I believe, to Black Bolt's mouth. And then it's supposed to be activated by Black Bolt, and Supergiant has him mind controlled. And then Maximus comes in and sort of does anything, kind of gets involved. Spoiler alert here, by the way. In the end, the terrigen bomb gets detonated over Earth. So yeah, so that is where the terrigen mist. Well, the terrigen bomb has terrigen mist inside. So that's where the terrigen mist, descending on the city, could reference this Infinity War storyline that we already know and we have some small references to in the game. And I particularly like this reference for Marvel Future Fight because check this out. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I wanted to give you guys a super duper scoop, potentially. Check this out. So this is an alternate cover of the one of the issues. I believe it's like book 4 or whatever of the Infinity storyline that we're talking about, this Infinity storyline. This is an alternative cover of Supergiant for the Infinity War, drawn by Lee In-hyuk. And he is a Korean artist who does a lot of stuff for Marvel. He's fantastic. And on his ArtStation page, you can see some very familiar pieces of art. This is Marvel Future Fight's firsts for the two OCs and White Fox. We've got White Fox there. There's Lee In-hyuk. And then we've got Luna Snow. And then we've got Crescent. And these were the covers that on the live stream in January, I believe, Danny Koo showed off. He pulled out the manila envelope and he showed off these new covers for these 3 new issues. And that, of course, ties it. It literally says right up there, Marvel Future Fight firsts. So I would be impressed if they're tying all this together to give us some kind of Supergiant rework. That's sort of where I'm taking this. That there's a possibility with all of these hints and clues that we could be getting a rework to Supergiant, a new uniform for Supergiant, possibly a tier 3 or something for Supergiant, or maybe just a uniform, and then hopefully a brand new World Boss Ultimate stage. I think that would be awesome, and it would be even more awesome if what is the sort of exclusive type of, ability or skill or whatever that you have to use against Supergiant. That's right, you have to use Inhumans. Imagine how cool that would be. Imagine how cool that would be. So, against Proxima, you have to use physical damage. Against Cull Obsidian, you have to use energy damage. You have to use speed types. You have to use elemental damage. Imagine you have to use Inhumans. How cool would that be? It would be amazing. I would love that. So yeah, I may be getting ahead of myself. Sorry, I may be hyping you up for something that Marvel Future Fight dev team is just not gonna do. Sometimes I just run away with ideas myself and I psych myself out. I don't psych myself, I overhype myself. But yeah, I think that would be amazing. I think it would be awesome. We've been asking for Supergiant to get a rework for 2 years. There's just no reason why not. There's no reason why not. Now, last thing. I know there's a lot in this video, but that is actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna wrap this up and I will talk about this other stuff in a separate video today. So let me know what you guys think of these ideas. Let me know what you think of the sneak peek for Classy Cage and the Terrigen Mist descending onto Earth? Could there be some connection to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Hit me up in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.